Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we are with the new episode of First Take. This is going to be your Week 8 overview. By the recording this is the back end of Week 7, but I'll go ahead and consider this the Week 8 episode here. We're going to go ahead and move on to AFC Playoff Picture. So currently this is how it stands with the Bills on top of the division. Uh, Chargers, Colts, and Browns all winning their divisions as well. However, the Patriots, they're 5-1. If they pick up this Sunday night or Monday night football victory, they will be ahead of the Bills, and the Bills will be pushed down to the fifth seed due to the Patriots having the tiebreaker over the Bills. So that's a very interesting thing to note that these two teams could switch spots. Then we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are a CPU team, coming in at sixth, and the Texans making the last playoff spot. Over here, we have the rest of the teams. The biggest team I can see jumping up right here is the Steelers, because they easily take the Jaguars or the Brown spot since they are tied in their division. And then I could also see the Chiefs. They're a very talented roster. I can definitely see them coming back and being the team that takes over this 3-2 Jaguars team. But that's the overall view of the AFC. Let's go over to the NFC here, as we have the usual suspects leading the top here. We have the Cardinals, Bucks, and Giants. Packers, very new to the league, but they are undefeated so far. That definitely they're making some noise, especially with their quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Moving on the list, we have the 5-1 Rams. They're playing very well. The 4-2 Panthers and the 3-2 49ers. And then the only other team worth mentioning here is the Eagles. They're 4-3. As you see, the AFC does have more users. However, they're just not looking quite as dominant as these NFC teams. As you see, they have 5 teams here with only one loss, and that's just not something you're going to get in the AFC. It's very top heavy over there. Here, it's more balanced. Um, it's looking very good though. So we're gonna go ahead and do our Hard Knocks episode. This is a very first Hard Knocks episode. We'll be doing it on the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals, they love the spotlight, so here they're going to get one. Currently, the team's 6-0, despite they're having constant feuds between the team. We're hearing Kyler Murray's being called a midget in the locker room by DeAndre Hopkins. But, I mean, they said he plays smaller than Mini-Me, but the team is undefeated. This is very reminiscent of the Portland Jailblazers, the Bad Boy Pistons, except this time it's in the NFL. We really don't see something like this. A lot of people are starting to call them the Arizona Cardinals because of their gang activity inside the organization. And really, this all starts around the head coach here, Goat. He even has an upcoming MMA bout scheduled between him and the Panthers head coach. We'll see where this takes us. I mean, this would be huge. Two head coaches, taking it out in the octagon. We're hearing they both do have high school wrestling experience. We'll see how this plays out. I mean, the betting odds for this fight are very close, and this would just be a monumental moment in NFL history to see these two coaches go at it. And he had also had some issues with this episode. He went on the Undisputed after we said that the Cardinals do choke into big moments. He said this show must be confused or suffering from amnesia. Whoever the guy is saying my team folds in the playoffs must have forgot about my track record of being back to back to back to fucking back championships games. Unk. And while we do understand that he has made it to 4 NFC Championship games, 4 out of the 4, he also has never made it to the Super Bowl and also has 0 rings with that. So, we stand by our reasoning here. Sure, you can make it to the championship games. You can beat the damn Cowboys. Congratulations. But what can you do when you face those top teams? That's the question. And we're just seeing, you folding like a paper mache out here, dude. So I'm not. And he also brought up the Buccaneers for some reason. I'm not very sure what that is. I don't believe the Tampa Bay head coach has really said anything negative about the Cardinals this season. I'm sure he meant to aim that at me, Mr. Stephen A. Smith here, but very confusing all in all. But overall, I mean, this team is 6-0. Whatever they're doing is working, but we'll have to see how it plans out in the playoffs. Moving on, we have some big news around the league. Buccaneers, talking about them, they fired head coach Jimbo Fisher after 5 games. And really, that's because of the turnovers. This team is second in the NFL in turnovers and number 1 in turnover differential. And that's just not going to win you football games. Somehow they've managed to go 5-1-1. We're not really sure. It's been a lot of close games all season long. But they fired him. They hired Bobby Bowden, who is 87 years old. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get out of his nursing home, but he is the new head coach of Tampa Bay. We'll see how that works out for him. And the Steelers make the shock of the world as they beat the Patriots. They ended the Patriots' undefeated streak. However, the Patriots are still the Super Bowl favorites here as they have wins over the Bills and Buccaneers this season, two very top teams. Um, no one thought this could be done. The Steelers, I mean, they were barely clinging on to a playoff spot, and they went and upset the Patriots at home. So there's not much you say about that. That is just very surprising. Also, we've had Coach Esau, who's claimed he's looking for a fourth straight Super Bowl ring, which would be unprecedented. He's already the third coach to ever three-peat, and first, if you really count the Super Bowl era, the only other teams to do that were the Packers back in the 20s and the 60s. So this is really unprecedented times. However, I'm just going to be honest with you. I do not see this guy winning a fourth straight Super Bowl. His team's still very talented. They got a great quarterback, but something's going to happen. Whether it's injury, whether it's just someone not showing up. I think that when they got the Patriots, they got Tampa Bay, they got the Giants, all these teams looking hungrier than ever. I don't see the Bills taking this one home. And as we already stated here in the Cardinals episode, there is a MMA fight. The date has not been set yet, but that is very big news. And let's also go over the inactives of the league. No one has seen the head coach Southside Primetime nor Big Easy. We're not sure if they have been murdered, but they're, what is going on with them. But it's very sad to see three of our head coaches not be active. They could all be released from their contracts very soon. And moving on here, we have the MVP odds. As it's week 8, we will be showing off who we believe is MVP. First off, we got to start with that bad man, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has around 2,000 yards this season, 21 total touchdowns with 4 interceptions, 72% completion percentage, and an outstanding 139 QBR, and has led his team to an undefeated record. And then, of course, we have to go over the former MVP here, the reigning MVP and reigning Super Bowl champion, Josh Allen. He's gotten 2,400 yards. However, he's been a little bit more careless with the ball, 27 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. 76% completion percentage, which is fantastic. And, of course, 128 QBR. That's very good as well. His team is 5-1. And, I mean, this is a complete shock. No one thought this guy would come out of the shadows. Austin Ekeler. Austin Eckler's only played 5 games, but he's almost amassed 1,000 total yards and has 14 touchdowns. I mean, what can this guy not do out here? He's playing fantastic football, averaging 183 yards per game. He's got to be up there. I mean, honestly, we could see the first running back MVP since the 90s out here, since Adrian Peterson, I believe, in 2007, actually. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, I mean, yeah, fantastic football. And then you can't talk about coming out of the shadows without talking about Tim Tebow. This man was a commentator last week for college football. Now he's an NFL quarterback. No one could have saw this coming. Moving on, we have Josh Allen's number 1 receiver, Curtis Samuel. 900 yards, 13 touchdowns. Overall, fantastic player. And then the underdog here, Devin McCourty, who has already 6 interceptions in only 6 games. He could break the NFL record. However, that still will probably be a long shot for MVP. And we have the Super Bowl odds here. As you see, the Patriots and Bills leading that. Pretty far behind them is the Buccaneers, Giants, Chargers, and Cardinals all into that. The Packers also up there, and everyone else with a plus 500 odds. Overall, that is all for the first take.